Hello, my name is Manuel Peralta, but many people know me as Manny. You can call me Manny or Manuel, I'm happy with either. I'm learning Umbraco, and as a way of improving my existing knowledge, I'm creating a series of video tutorials where I'll be covering the knowledge that I've acquired. Um, so it's a way of improving my skills and also to share what I've learned. This video is the first in a number of video tutorials, and it's basic-ish. So we'll be looking at the Umbraco CMS with a basic website, but nice, I hope. It will be covering the front end and the back office, including the settings that I've created in order to generate all the content and all the modules. So let's get started. Right, here's the website, and the so let me just move across. This is the content. So we have here at the top the navigation bar with a logo, and at the top we have also a favicon. I'm currently using the same image to generate these two displays. We've got a homepage, about us, services, and news. Now, the website is built up with but the content is built up of 5 different modules. This is one of them. It's a slider, and the slider has got a background image, a title, a subtitle, and a button. Currently have 3 slides, and you can slide it either from here or from here. Got these images of the Salar de Uyuni in Bolivia, which people seem to like to do all sorts of visual illusions. Right, now we have a split content. This is another module that has a photograph in one side and some text. That's a title, subtitle, and some text. Now, this is the same one, the same module, but the order is reversed, and as you can see, the color is being changed. We will get into that a little bit later on. Now, another feature that this website has is related content. So if you wanted to highlight a particular topic or page, you can by selecting related content, and this allows you to do that. At the very bottom we have the footer. There's the About Us page and services, which you can also see at the top, but you can create other pages like policy or terms and conditions, and you can put them in this area. We also have social media links, and you can add as many social media links as you want to. And we have this you can change, but you have to change it in the hard code. But you can make it so flexible that you can change it yourself in the back office. But that might be something that you can have a go at, editing, changing. Right, let me just go to another page. We'll go to About Us. Now, in About Us, we have a header. This is another of the modules that I talked about, and this also has a title, subtitle, and the option to have more than one button. So you also have a background image, and if you didn't put a background image, you can have this image on the side. You don't have to have this image or either of those images. The module still works. Here again, we put the split content, and in here it's displaying a button as well that will link you to another page or an item of news or anything that you would have prepared. So here's the header module again, this time only with one button, the subtitle and the title. We have the split content module here again, and here we have another module that is uniquely using text. You have a title, subtitle, and more text. Right, now we get to the news section. This is slightly different, but still on this page you can still use the 5 modules. So background image, the image, you don't have to have this image, or even the background image, it will work. And in here we are listing the news items. Currently we have 4 news items, and the way you populate this is slightly different to the pages, and it's because the content is different. So let's go inside one of these, and in here you have a title, the author's name, the date when it was published, and the categories for the item. You can also, you can have an image, a main image if you wanted to. You don't have to, but here's the option. And you have the option to have various layouts for the text. You can have 3 columns, like in this case. You could also have, let's see if we have one single column, like in this other example, or double, or 2 columns, like in this one. Now, here we have related news items on this, on the right hand side, the sidebar, as we know it in the industry. And you can have as many items related to that particular news item or blog or whatever you decide to have your content as. So this is the front end. Now let me just go quickly to the back office and show you what I have here. Right, so the way or the way I've created the content is as follows. I mentioned 5 modules, which you can see they are what they call content blocks. And the beauty of this is that you can actually change the order in which they appear. For instance, we have related pages at the very bottom of the home page. So let me just show you. You go to the home page, and we have related pages at the bottom. But you don't have to have that at the bottom. You can just move it to be the second item or even the first item. But in this case, let's just have this as the first item. We save, and once it's saved, we can go back to the home page and refresh, and you have the content, the navigation, the main slider, and in here we have the related pages, and then we have the split contents that we have seen before, and there you can see they are here. Now you can add new content, or you can even copy this content. So here we have copy. So let's say we copy this, and in here it appears an option. So we go there and we copy, and it's down here. So if we save this, you will see that a new split content has been added to, we need to refresh this first. Okay, so we have the slider, the related pages that we moved up, the first split content, the second split content, and the split content that we just copied down here, and then the footer. So that's how easy it is to manipulate the order and copy content. You can also add more content. These are all the modules that I have built. So here are the headings. This is the slider. This is just text, and this is the split content and related content. Now we don't have a text content on the homepage, so we'll add a bit of text, and in here we can have some text here. We can just copy this and put some more text here as subtitle, and we can just put even more of this. Right, so that's just purely text. We just put a little bit more. That doesn't look good. Put another paragraph. There you go, and we save. We refresh the page, and we will see at the very bottom the content has been added. However, you don't have to add the content where it says here only. You can obviously, but you can also add it to either at the very top or in between any of the other modules. So for this exercise, let's just add another. We just click on the plus, and we have the option to have a content, and we can put more text. So we say, and we just put some text here as title. There you go. And there you go. And in here you also get a preview of what the content is, so that you have an idea of what content you've entered in there. So we go to the homepage and see how we've added that bit of text right here. Okay, now you notice that the background of some of these modules are different. For instance, in this split content, we have this with a slightly blue tint, and the color of the text is also different in here in the title as it is in this other module. Well, the same module, but the reversed order. Now we can change. So we just created this text module content, and in here we have an option for settings. Now currently the only options that I have are colors. You can change the background color, the text content color, the title color, and the subtitle color. So currently this module is just, this is the default color, is a white background, and the text is black or dark gray. So we say the background color to change to this, for argument's sake, we go to this dark gray. You want to have some contrast between the background and the text, so we kind of put the same color. So we will, for argument's sake, let's say put this color. So the main text will be like this light gray color, and so for the title, let's choose yellow. I mean, I don't know how that's going to look like, but we will see. And the subtitle, we choose a green. We select OK and save. Right, so we should see this change to those colors, and there they are. So we've got the title, the subtitle. You can't really tell that this is yellow, but because it's it almost looks white. But let's see if this is a bit more obvious. If we swap, oh, the title is incorrect, I believe. There's some error in this, but we will change that. Okay, never mind. This does work in other modules, so I will look into the code and see where that is not working. Let's change the color of, here we can see that the title is being correctly changed. So let's work on this one. So at the moment we have this color, and let me just show you how that is reversed its order. So here is the split content. This is the hint that you see here, and in here we see a picture. I've given it a title, but it's only to give me a hint of what the item is, or what the picture is in this case. We have settings here, but currently there's no settings that can be used. I put a title just as a dummy, not to necessarily, it doesn't get used. But here, the global settings does have the settings that I've used in the previous example. So we have the title color. In this case, you can see that it's correctly working. Right, so let's change it to the yellow that we attempted to change it in the text module, and see if this changes that. Yes, it does. Okay, so it's good that we spotted an error, a bug. Right, so this is how the content has been entered. Right, so we've covered a little bit of the how we add content, how we copy content, and how we can add in between modules extra content, or even move the content about. Now, let's have a look at some of the other modules that we haven't looked in here, and that would be the header module, which we are using here. So we come in here, and we have here a title, a subtitle, and here we've got a couple of links that we've added in the About Us page. So if we go in the front and look at the About page, and we have two images. Yeah, we had the background image, the front image, but we also have two buttons, which are here, Home and About. Now this photo is what you see here, and the background image is what you see as the background. So this is the module for a header, which goes at the top of, but if you wanted to each page. And in here we've got the colors settings. Right, so we've got a background green, title that is light blue, and a subtitle that is in white, which is, as we can see here, which is correctly displaying those colors. And in here we have the split content plus a button, which we can see now. So here we have the split content, so this is the photo and this is the text, and in here we have added a button, which is further information. Now you can link this button to any internal page in the website or external page here, but for that you have to remove this in order to get that working. You could even link to an image or a document. It could be a PDF download, etc. Right. One other thing that I have shown you in the home page is the reverse order So here we have the image comes first and then the text after. Well, what we can do now is we're still here on the About Us page and looking at the split content. Let's go into the settings, and then here we have a reverse order button, which is just a checkbox and or radio box. And we submit this and we save, and once this has completed saving, we come here and we can once we refresh this page, see the order changing. So there you are. Fabulous. Right, now let's go and have a look at the news section. So the news section works in the following way. Here it lists in this order the number of items that you have. You can add items by clicking here and adding more news items, and you can have content in the news feed, as it were, and that is in here. So we have the tab that says content, and we have the main content, which is the option where you can have all the 5 modules. But in this case, we're only using the heading. And then we have a summary and a thumbnail, which is content that it's used for the related items that we have here. So this is what gets displayed as the image, the thumbnail, and this is the title of the page, which is in this case news or services or whatever. And in here, this is the summary that is this content. Now we have also an SEO option, so you can put an SEO title and an SEO description. And in here we are saying, what is roughly the ideal number of characters that each of these sections should have, ideally. Right, so this is the news feed. Now, in order to see the news items, we click back in here. Well, let's click here, and actually you can just click here, didn't have to. So we have the content and the child items. So let's go to the first item, and in here we have a title, author, published date, and slogan that will appear in here. This is the slogan, that's the title, and the thumbnail, which is the main image or the main picture in this case. So we have tags as we're using tags as categories, which you can just type something and it just gets added as something. And we have the main picture. Then you can add the text. In this case, there's one single column or full width. You can change that here. You can have, this is what's currently being used. You could have a 2 column, or you could have 3 columns, and those are the options. Now, the news items has a related news items option down here. Unlike the modules on the pages, these can only be used on the sidebar of a news item, so they can only be displayed here. But you can have more than one item as related items. So you can see in here, these are the related items that are currently being used. You can add more by going to the section of news. So we've got these 2. Let's add these as a third. So we currently have 2. We save, and then so there's 1 and 2, and we should. I don't believe it's this one that we're looking at the moment. think. Let's see. Tonic Acus. This is the one. So now we have 3. So let's just get rid of one so that it has itself as related items, so we don't want that. So here is the same item we're looking at. So if we refresh, that disappears. Right. You also have a thumbnail that can be used for related as part of the summary, which we covered earlier. You can have some. This is for when. So that gets used here as a thumbnail. And right. Then we have the SEO, which is common across all pages. One other thing that I mentioned earlier are the navigation. And as you may have noticed, this has got a color, background color, and this changes when you hover over them, the sections on the navigation. And it's the same on, well, currently it's not looking like it does here, but we will see in a second. You can control the color scheme from the general settings. Currently I'm getting all these errors in this poly because this is still a beta version of Umbraco 9. Right, so here's we've got the name of the website, as you can see, Manual Starter Kit, which is what you read in here. The description is the same. We have the logo and the favicon, which is currently using the same picture. Now this is the main menu, and this is here, as you can see here, these are the pages that we've created, and we're using them all. Oh, actually, we've got this page, but we don't have a contact us page. Right, I believe it's because I deleted that, but it's still showing. So let's just remove this. Okay, so the way to add this is by coming here, and as you can see, there's no contact us page, but we can create one. Let's close that. Let's save this, and for the purposes of this exercise, let's create a page called Contact Us. We put a heading, say Contact Us. We don't have a subtitle. Let's just not put anything as a link just yet. We'll just put that as a heading. Let's see what it comes out as. Right, now this will not appear in the navigation. If we refresh, you can't see it, and it's because in order for it to be in the navigation, it has to be added in the main menu, which is here. So we add that, we look for this page, new page, Contact Us, and then we submit it and click OK and save and publish. And then we refresh here, and voila, here it's the page. By default, if you don't add any colors, images, this is what you get. But yeah, so that's the Contact Us page that we just added to the menu. We could equally create terms and conditions policies that would go generally on the footer. At the moment, I'm just reusing this, but you can have as many items in that footer navigation as well. It works exactly the same as the main menu. So you just navigate to the page and add it and save it, and when it's saved, it's been added there. Okay, let's move on to the next section. This is the thing. When Umbraco 9 is finished, this will be a tab that appears here. Because it's a beta, this is not a finished product. But the beauty of this theme, these colors, is that is the same. They are the same colors that we used in all the other pages, theming colors, and they all are being fed from one single data type. And if you change the data type in the settings in here, let me just quickly show you. Here are the data types, and here are my custom types, and this is my theme. This is the only data type that is feeding all of the colors. So if you change these colors, that will change everywhere. So in the settings, the content, and that can be used in all the places where the color is being used, and they're being used in all the settings for every module. So this is a very simple way of using colors in a way that it's not confusing. You have consistency with your color scheme. So let's go back to the content and the settings, and this keeps appearing. It disappears after a few seconds, but let's just get rid of them quickly. So here we have the the theming. So in here we have the main menu background color, the main menu color, the main menu hover color, and below we have the footer menu color. But we can change this. So let's say we change. This is slightly different. This is where I made a mistake. Anyway, but we can. This is a good opportunity to go back and change this or modify this. But for the exercise, let's just use what we have here. We can change this color to that. So we change the background, and we change on the footer as well. So we can change the footer to be an orange one. Right. Okay, so we leave the rest and save and publish, and come back here and refresh, and there you are. The colors have changed. Right. So I made some modifications to my theme before I was preparing this lesson, but obviously it didn't change this sufficiently, which it's a good thing, because we can you will see how that gets changed in future videos. Now we have the social media. Currently we have Facebook and Twitter, which you can see Facebook and Twitter here in that order. But you can change the order, I believe. Yep. Twitter is now number 1, and if we save and publish, we can see that the order has changed. We can also add more items. So let's say we got Twitter, I don't know, LinkedIn. I believe that's the word. The word has to be the correct word in order for the icon to appear. So for now, we just put this link. It doesn't matter, it just needs to be a link. Obviously it would be LinkedIn. Let's just change this, and okay, let's guess that this is the actual LinkedIn website. Save and publish, and hopefully that will pick up the correct icon. There it is, and it's at the very bottom of the page. Bottom left, you can see the URL that we put in there, which I am not entirely sure is the correct one, but that's how you would enter a new social media link. Now, this is a trick that I used that I used in my previous starter kit, which is a starter kit that it's in Spanish, but I couldn't get the images when I created the starter kit or turned it into a package, I couldn't add the images that were in the project. So I used the external images that are stored in this address, this URL, and all I have to do is give it the name of the um, the, the image in the code, and that generates the images that I require. Um, and but I've used the same technique here, thinking that I could turn this into a package. But so far, I haven't been able to turn this into a package. But if I do get it to work, hopefully, we may or may not need to use this. Right, now let's have a look at the final part of this demonstration, which is in the settings. Now the settings, the way I prepared it is, you've heard me talk about title, subtitle, and a button is a link, and more than one button would be links. And we've got a title and a subtitle and content, and the same here. So you see this pattern pretty much everywhere. You have one image in this. In most modules, there'll be one image, but there are also more than one image that are being used in here. So let me just show you how I did this. This is quite crucial because we are repeating in many places the title, subtitle, and instead of creating a document type for each of these modules with title and subtitle, I've created a document type with a single property, title, another document type with a single property, subtitle, another property with a single image, and another property with more than one image called images, and so on and so forth. And you will see here that that helps me reuse those elements pretty much everywhere. Now I've organized my folders in this way. I've got block lists, which are the raw materials for the modules that are the key components of the content. The elements make out. These are the individual elements that will make each module, which you will see in a moment. And groups. Groups are more than one property that is being used in pages, and it makes sense to have those grouped in that way. For instance, let me just open a new tab. Here we have in the home page a summary, which has, this is the same everywhere that it gets used. It's almost, this is like one single element, and the same with SEO. So it has two elements, but they always work together, same as the summary and thumbnail. They always work together. So it makes sense to have them grouped, and they will be there. Then I have the pages, where you will see them in a moment, and the settings, which are the settings that you see in here. Right, so let's quickly go to the singles first and show you how I've organized this. In my singles, I have got the background color. Now, here, this element, the theme colors, is the data type that I showed you earlier, theme colors. So the document type can be accessed by adding a property and selecting an editor. So this theme colors is a property that I can find and use from here. So if we type theme colors, it's this one that we're using here. Now I can use this as many times as I need to, or as I want to. So I'm using the same property everywhere where colors are are being used as a single image. So in here, this is one element that is using that has one single property. So that's background color element. This is a background image element. So in here, I'm just having one image. So all of these are single elements using one single property. Here we have a link element. It's a link that has as its property. Links element has links as its property. Now, an overlay is an option that you have in order to create a contrast that will help the text to be seen better. And this is used in the heading. Yes, that's what it is. Then I have photo element where the property is a photo. Now I have photos element where you have a multiple media picker, so you can have more than one photo select from there. Now here we're using again the theme colors, which as we looked earlier, it's the same one, which is great because you can just edit these colors here and these will change wherever they're being used. And that is why this theming is consistent across all the modules, and you can color scheme it in a way that is nice and consistent. Now we have a subtitle as is, and you can see the point that I've made. I mean, all the elements are a single element that contains one single property. Text color, text element, which has a rich text element, and these are more colors, and then the title element, which is used pretty much everywhere. Now that's the singles. Another settings that is related to the same sort of category as it were are the group elements. So we have the SEO, which is used as a single unit, but this is more than one property in one element, and in here we have summary, more than one property in one single element. Now I also have some elements that I've created that are used to generate the social media content. So here I created this social media name and social media URL, which you saw me enter the data for LinkedIn. So these are those two text strings, which then this is the beauty of Umbraco. Once I've created this and turned it into an element, this turns it into an element here in permissions. This is the design, this is the permissions. Now it's turned into an element. I can use it in the data types and turn it into an item that can be picked as a property. So I create a nested content and select the social media element that you see here, and it's got a group of social media here, and that's picked up here. And this is the name of the first, this is the name of the first property. You can give it any name that is it, of the properties in here, the alias as more properly, and that will pick up the name once the data is entered. It will recognize what it is. Let me just demonstrate that bit. So we go to the general settings, remove these errors quickly, and go down to social media. So in here, it's reading, this is the first property, social media name, which is social media name. This is the alias of this property in the social media element, and that is being picked up here. If we didn't put that, if we didn't put sorry, if we didn't put this alias here, this wouldn't read Twitter. It would just be some code that is not legible. So that is why I'm using this is using that. Okay, now that is the element. Currently, I only have one element, but you can have a library of elements in there. Now we have the pages, we have the home, the news feed, news item, and a text page, which we'll look into in a moment. Let me just show you quickly the block lists. The way I've organized it, I've put first level, second level, and third level. As you can see in here, if we go to home, the split content has got, this is the main level. The in here would be the first level, but in my organized folders, this is the second level, where we have the title, and we have another block list for the photo, and another block list for the text. So this is what would correspond to the third level, and this. So we click in there, and this is another block list. So it's a nested block list nested into another block list, and you can do that in Umbraco, which is fabulous. Right. Hopefully that's clear, and if it's not, then you will understand it easier as we go on the next modules. So let me just expand this now and show you what I've done. So these are the raw materials for the content. So the third level is nested content that it is used for the second level, and the first level is the main content. So this is calling, this is the first level, this is the second level, and inside it, oh well, this doesn't have one, split content does. This is the third level, but it will be clearer later in the other videos. So let's go to the third level first. So we've got the split content, and the way I named it is split photo, and in here I'm using the single text element. It's that it says here, it's inheriting that, and in the photo is inheriting the single photo element, which we saw earlier in the single in single folder with the elements and the properties. So here is the title element, which is here, and it's inheriting that. Sorry, we are in the split photo, and the same with the element of the photo. Then we've got settings, but like I said earlier, this is just a dummy placeholder. I put a title, but it doesn't get used in any way. Then we've got the split text, but the split text is inheriting more elements or more properties and more elements, obviously. So here we have the title, the subtitle, the text, and a URL link, which we use it as a button. Now, we're also using the title in the settings just as a dummy, and we get to use it pretty much everywhere. So this is the split photo, and we use in the in its settings, and we also use it as a guide to see the type of content, the type of photo that is in the split content photo. We use title there, and we use the slide, and in the slide we're using the same element, title, pretty much everywhere, the same subtitle, photo link. So that is use used everywhere. You might be wondering, why don't you create the title, subtitle as just one group? The reason is because sometimes you don't need a photo, a link, or a subtitle. I could just use the title only, and I don't have to create another element that has only title, another element that has only title and subtitle and no photo. So it's best to just, from my perspective, to create single elements which I can use wherever I need to. And for this purpose, it's been incredibly good. Now, this is the second level. So we go into heading, for instance, and we're inheriting the same title, subtitle, links, photos, and I'm inheriting more elements, the background image. And in the settings, in the heading settings, I am using the color theme, but also I'm using the title and the overlay, which is also a single element. So in here, I'm using, I've created the single elements for each background color, title color, and subtitle color, because in some settings I don't need all these colors. So like title color, sometimes I will not need either subtitle or title or background color. So it's best for the purposes of this theme or this kit, the starter kit, to be used. It makes sense for these to be used in this way. So yes, so related content, it does the same. It inherits the title. Now this is slightly different. This is a content that has to be created after the content has been actually created and entered. You need to have this in order to create this related content, which is down here in the custom data types. So this is the multi-node tree picker. These acronyms help me locate the type of content that I've created and to create my data types. So once I created the content, I can say any content, the node from the home page is the where the content is going to come, and the items that I want has to be of text type, which is the type of page that you have here. So this is the tree node, and this is the type of content that is going to be related content. So only this. I didn't select news feeds or news items, so that will not be related to this. You cannot add that as related content. But on the related news, you can, because I'm selecting related news, right, which is here, as you can see. Still, this I am not entirely sure about this. I thought I could select the node of the newsfeed and then the news item, but this kept breaking, so I did it this way. There may be a better way, but I haven't discovered that way just yet. Right, so we're still looking in here, but I will not go through each and every one of these, but just this last one, where I'm just saying again that I'm reusing the inherited title, but in this, same as the split content, I've got also another block list that I've turned into content, and I am using this as a property. You will see how that is done later on, but it's amazing how Umbraco is so versatile that allows you to do these amazing things. Right, I think I have covered a lot, and it's I believe this is sufficient for now, and we will I will be creating a new website, a new Umbraco site from scratch, and I will demonstrate the installation, and talk a little bit about the requirements that you need to have, including the level um, of of C sharp and uh, understanding of coding, of in this case programming. But that's it. I hope you like it, and I hope it's of use to you. Looking forward to the next module. Thank you very much. Bye bye.